Hello, everyone. Before we continue, I would like to let everyone know that I am not a medical doctor, a spiritual master, or an expert of any kind. I'm just a country pumpkin sharing his theoretical perspective for entertainment purpose only. And the topic for entertainment today is Buddhism is a propaganda organization. So what do I mean by that? Just like in a patriarchal system where you have your grandparents, your dad telling you you are shitty, you are not a good person, you are horrible, you're a bad kid, blah blah blah. It's just like degrading, yelling, and doesn't really create a forced environment for love, kind, compassion, understanding where you can grow up. You're growing up being put down and always focus on a negative stuff, on a negativity is all the way up scale. So it's like abusive relationship in a patriarchal system. And Buddhism is highly patriarchal, and it is a caste system where you have where they preach like oneness. Everybody's equal in oneness. We're all one, but yet it has a hierarchical system, a caste system, a ranking system, instead of he is representing us in this group, but no, you have levels. So there you are, they sold themselves out. You have a ranking within the snake oil salesman group. And the teachings, what they call teaching, is more propaganda, fear mongering, installing. This is not really suggestive programming anymore. They are installing perception into people's mind that life is suffering, that life is unfair, to foster that victimizer mentality, that if they suffer enough one day, they will make it to heaven. If they suffer enough incarnation one day, they can go to heaven. But if they they can put some money in a donation box, they can buy blessings to make up for their bad deeds. If they buy enough of those blessings, they can go to heaven. If they don't buy enough, then oh my goodness, you create so many sins in life. You have to kill for your food. You're unloyal. You're bad son, bad person in society. It's always like that alcoholic dad or that narcotic dad or that abusive dad. So those monks, the religion is like an abusive dad, a mom, or grandparents, always focusing on a negative, never sharing anything positive and inspiring and motivate you to be a better person, always focusing on the bad stuff, the negative stuff. So create that fear. So you put money in that donation box, you can buy some blessing to satisfy to make up, to feel better. So you're not so negative anymore. All everything they do, all the propaganda they spit out is to lower people frequency. All they do is install perception into people's mind to feed on the victim mentality, to feed the fear so that they give up the power, so that they're dependent upon that organization, that priest, that monk. It is not an organization to empower people so that they no longer need that monk in front of them. It does not teach essential mechanics where you can free yourself from the system, free yourself from your weaknesses, from your limitation. It is only there to feed on your weaknesses and your limitation to sustain its organization. It is a parasitic organization. It is a snake oil salesman organization that sell you a way to heaven, a way to for redemption, instead of accepting and loving yourself for who you are, accepting where you are right now. It gives a victim mentality of life and say, instead of teaching people, it is one way interpretation. Instead of interpreting, all the scenario in your life, all that rough time, all that hardship, it is created for you to learn, to grow, to conquer your weakness, so that you can embody more of your skill sets, so you understand yourself more. Through that experience, you experience, through that experience or knowing, you can reach higher transcendence level of understanding deeply about life, of existence itself, instead of focusing, oh my God, it's so tough, it's horrible. Why do I have to suffer so much in this life? What did I do in my last life? Am I that bad of a person in my last life that I have to pay for my karma now? And instead of, I created this, I planned this lifetime, I created this scenario to see if I can overcome it. One is a victim mentality, one is a master mentality, or opportunist. Master implies that you overcome your weaknesses. No, master in this perspective means your your attitude and perception in life. That means you're an opportunist, taking the opportunity there to apply your skill sets, instead of blaming God and circumstances and everything else, and instead of trying to find a solution. But that Buddhist organization will feed on that situation and that circumstance, pour oil into fire to sustain its system, its belief, its propaganda. It is no longer a so-called sharing of Buddha teachings. It is a snake oil salesman selling fake teachings and ascension mechanics, because they rely on people, superstition and ignorance, cannot see through their charade. Cannot see how rotten they are the insides and how enlightened they are. And they rely on thousands, if not million years of brainwashing for people not to see through that scam. Because people are conditioned to believe authority figures, to believe spiritual leaders, instead of being reliant upon themselves to fact check and to seek for knowledge, for answers outside of the system, and see if, of whether they know makes sense or not. They are plugged so deeply within the system that they don't even question it. They fight for every tooth and nail to protect that system. They became a cult, a members of the cult, instead of an organization that share knowledge and enlighten people. Religion has become a cult, instead of an cult, and this mean nothing hidden or anything. This mean in a negative way of brainwashing, superstitious, encouraging superstitious behavior, instead of sharing knowledge to educate and enlighten people. It used fear mongering, programming subconscious programming as of their propaganda to limit the consciousness of people, to fit the agenda behind those person who create religion in the first place, to limit our consciousness, use our fear, anxiety, worry to suppress our soul, use our own mind to trap our soul from freely expressing itself, for living life to the fullest, is use emotion to suppress our soul, to fear, worry, regret. It's milking us for every drop of negative energy of fear, always keep us in fear and regret instead of elevating us beyond those emotions. I hope people go deeper, just not relying upon Buddhism or any other religion 100%. There are a lot of other sources of information we can learn to educate ourselves instead of being a cult member. Use it as part of a stepping stone to know and understand more about ourselves, our connection to ourselves and to the universe, and not that let that be the limit of our experience. Okay, thank you, everyone.